Oh yeah, let's write on top decimals. And the little subheading today, this is called naming them. Like Rover and Bob. When they say naming, really they mean reading and writing them. Reading and writing them. Which means nothing more than this. If you see a decimal number like this, let's say I have 78.041. I want you to jot this down. If you are asked to either write it or to say it out loud, this would be the steps that you would take. Step number 1 is you say the number in front of the decimal. In which case, that number in front of the decimal, Carolina, is the whole number in front. 78, thank you. 70-8. Okay. After that, step number 2 is you say or read or write the word "and" for the decimal point, which is this right here. So this decimal point, wherever that decimal point is, you say the word "and." So good?
Yes.
What color do we have left? Let's go with the green. Step number 3 is you say the number after the decimal point. Which would be this number here. Number after the decimal point there is 41. Anybody know what I'm going to say the last step is? Of course. Not good, I'll just tell you that. Step number 4 is you say the place value of the last digit, which happens to be this guy right here. Which would mean you'd have to know your place values. In decimal numbers, if you go back and look, this is the tenths place, this is the hundredths place, this is the thousandths place, and that's what you'd say because that one is in the thousandth place. You would call it thousand. THS. This is how you would say it, and this is how you would write it. 78 and 41 thousandths. And by the way, while we're on it, and I don't have any idea why they put this here, do you remember back whenever I said, when we're talking money, we have this $35.82. A little known fact, and we don't do it in Illinois, but I know in Michigan we do. They actually do talk about this next place after the decimal. And the only other place you would see it at gas stations, actually. I don't know. If you ever look at the money sign at a gas station, you will see like the price of gas right now is like $2.59 or something, and then off to the side, like right to that, they have either this little fraction of 9/10, or they have a 9 or something up there. That is actually a fraction of a penny, which is also this decimal place right here. This decimal place, when you talk about money, is called a mill. And I don't think you'll ever in your life probably run across it again, but if the book asks you about it, it's the thousandths place with money. It is 1,000th of a dollar. It would be 1/10 of a cent, which means you'd have to have, if we had a coin that was a mill, you'd have to have 10 of them to make a penny. All right, and you'd have to have 100 of them to make a dime, and you'd have to have 1,000 of them to make a dollar. Why will we never see the mill? Because it would cost us probably 100 times more to make the coin than the coin would ever be worth. Like pennies, we still make pennies, but I believe it costs us more than a penny to make a penny. So every penny we make, we actually go in the hole, because as a country, we could never pay for everything in pennies because we would just go broke, because it would take us more to make the pennies than the pennies would be worth to pay for the stuff that you do. So anyways, if you ever hear about a mill, that's because in the metric system, remember, a millennium is 1,000. Don't think it as million. It's mill. Like a millimeter, that's 1,000th of a meter. A millennium is 1,000 years. You see a mill there. So if they ask about it, I just thought I'd throw it in there because I see it in the book here. I don't think you'd ever. But in Michigan, they do taxes on mills. They have a certain mill increase. So basically, they're telling you it's, a 5 mill increase means you pay 1,000th of whatever on whatever. So it's something smooth there. Look at that. Where that came from. All right, let's practice our little writing, reading decimals. What if I have this? And I asked you to write or say that number using those, what was it, 4 steps or 5 steps? I think it was 4. Maybe it was 5. If I asked you to write that or say it, what would you say, River, slowly and concisely?
100.
Let me write that down, yeah. 100, because that's the number in front of the decimal. That's this whole thing here, 100. Decimal point is and.
436.
Right, you say that whole number over there, 436, and then that 6 is in the thousandths place. And make sure you put that TH on there, otherwise you make it 1,000, and that's way on the other side means a whole lot of different thing. 36 thousandths. How about this one? 2020. How technically would you say 20.20? Olivia?
20 and 20 hundred.
Right, 20 and 20 hundredths. What if it's just a decimal? Now, it's kind of acceptable either way. You can say 0 and 53 hundredths, or you could just say 53 hundredths. Either way, it's really pretty much the same thing. Now, we also probably need to be able to go from words to actually writing this out. So write this down. 7 and 89, I guess 89 hundredths. Seven and 89 hundredths. I would suppose the best way to think about this is look for that decimal point. You know the word and is the decimal. In front of the decimal you have a 7. Behind the decimal, you have to be a little careful here, you have an 89. Is that right, or do I need to put a 0 in front of that, or what is it? If we go by the rules we talked about, the 9 has to be in the hundredths place because it's the last digit. So this is in the tenths place. Do I have another number here? No, we don't. There's no ones place. It's 7 and 89 hundredths. All right, one more. I'll let you write this one down. How about this one? 234 thousandths. 234 thousandths. THS. 234 thousandths. Give me a second to write that down. Now, if you look at that though, and this might be a little confusing, do you see the word "and" there at all?
No.
Does that mean there's no decimal in it?
No.
Wait.
Yes.
Yes? No? No?
Yes.
Well, what you really have to look, if there's no word "and," you gotta look and see, there is a TH there, so you know there has to be a decimal there. Okay? If there was no that, it would be 234,000, which would be this, 234,000, but it's not that because it has the TH there. This is one of those cases where I remember I said there's two acceptable ways to read that number. You need to think about this as being 0 and 234,000. So you have 234. This has to be in the thousandths. This has to be in the tenth or hundredths, and this has to be in the tenths. And that would be how you would write that. If you put a 0 in front, it certainly wouldn't be marked wrong. But that's how many people have that? It gets confusing when they don't put the "and" there and it's a decimal. You just have to watch out for those words that have those THs after them. That will get you there. Look at that. So. All right. We are stopping at that.